সুপ্রিয় দর্শক সবাইকে আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি ফার্মিং ফিউচার বাংলাদেশ নিবেদিত দীপ্ত কৃষি সংলাপে পাওয়ার্ড বাই কাজী ফার্মস কো-স্পন্সরড বাই এয়ার মালিক সিট। দীপ্ত কৃষি সংলাপের মাধ্যমে আমরা নিয়মিত কৃষির নানাবিধ সমস্যা সমাধানের উপায় নিয়ে আলোচনা করি। আমরা এই সপ্তাহে আলোচনা করছি ফিড দ্য ফিউচার গ্লোবাল বায়োটেক পটেটো পার্টনারশিপ প্রজেক্ট ইন বাংলাদেশ। এই বিষয়ে আলোচনার জন্য আজকে স্টুডিওতে আমাদের সাথে যুক্ত হয়েছেন ডক্টর ডেভিড ডাউচেস, প্রজেক্ট ডিরেক্টর ফিড দ্য ফিউচার গ্লোবাল বায়োটেক পটেটো পার্টনারশিপ অ্যান্ড প্রফেসর অফ মিশিগান স্টেট ইউনিভার্সিটি, এবং আমাদের সাথে আরও রয়েছেন মিস জেন ফিয়েরো, গ্লোবাল কমিউনিকেশন অ্যান্ড অ্যাডভোকেসি লিড ফিড দ্য ফিউচার গ্লোবাল বায়োটেক পটেটো পার্টনারশিপ প্রজেক্ট। অনুষ্ঠান সঞ্চালনায় বরাবরের মতো রয়েছে আরিফ আপনাদের সাথে। দর্শক, আমরা সম্প্রতি লক্ষ্য করেছি বাংলাদেশের বাজারে আলুর দাম বেড়ে গিয়েছে। আলুর উৎপাদনশীলতা বরাবরের মতো থাকলেও আমরা আলুর দাম নিয়ন্ত্রণ করতে পারছি না, এবং মাঝে মধ্যে আমরা লক্ষ্য করি আলুর নাভি ধসা রোগের কারণে অনেক সময় উৎপাদন ব্যাহত হয়। আমরা আজকে আলোচনা করব আলুর নাভি ধসা রোগ প্রতিরোধী জাত উন্নয়ন নিয়ে বাংলাদেশে কী গবেষণা কার্যক্রম হয়েছে। এই বিষয়ে আলোচনার জন্য আজকে স্টুডিওতে আমাদের সাথে ডক্টর ডেভিড ডাউচেস রয়েছেন, যিনি আন্তর্জাতিক খ্যাতিসম্পন্ন একজন বিজ্ঞানী, আলু নিয়ে গবেষণা করছেন দীর্ঘ সময়। আমরা সরাসরি তার কাছে জানতে চাইব। প্রফেসর ডেভিড ডাউচেস, ওয়েলকাম you to this talk show Deepto Krishi Songlap. We are very fortunate to have you today among us. You are a global expert on potato. You have been working for a couple of decades on building resilience and developing variety, commercial and varieties for smallholder farmer. Can you share an overview of the Feed the Future Global Biotic Potato Partnership, its mission, vision, and one particular work you are doing in Bangladesh, and who are your primary partner for the project in Bangladesh?
First, I just thank you for inviting me to Bangladesh, and it's nice to be able to talk about our project here on the TV show. And so our USAID funded project is called Global Biotech Potato Partnership, and it's an effort by USAID that's administered through Michigan State University to develop late blight resistant potatoes for 4 target countries: Bangladesh, Indonesia in the Southeast Asia, and Kenya and Nigeria in Africa. And these are countries that are potato producing countries and have problems with late blight during the production season. And so late blight resistance is an important trait for potato because it will create a food security. And we were able to do this through biotechnology because previous work by many great scientists around the world identified genes for late blight resistance. And through conventional breeding, it's very difficult to put these into varieties. But with biotechnology, we can insert 3 valuable R genes into a single potato in one time and expedite the process. And so we can create those potatoes and then take them to the field immediately. And so this is really exciting technology to have in hand.
And you think that this technology will benefit smallholder farmer in all these 4 countries?
Oh yes, I think that's really important because it's very challenging to control late blight. And late blight has really hurt many farmers over the years because it's a disease that after it attacks the potato, it's very hard to control. And the only means of control that they have is the use of fungicides. And fungicides may not always completely work based on the environmental conditions, or the disease has progressed far enough that they won't work well enough. And then there's the cost of the pesticides too. So, and also the environmental consequences of spraying pesticides. So it's a big win for the farmer if we can help them manage this very challenging disease.
Yeah. I'd like to hear from Ms. Jen Fierro. I mean, with your title, we'd like to know from you that what communication and advocacy activity has been planned for this program, and why it's important to communicate evidence and the science to farmer, to regulator, and to the community.
Yeah. Thank you, Arif. You know, it's so difficult with a new technology, and especially when you have a technology like genetic engineering, which has really, it has a lot of misinformation and disinformation. And really what our role with the project is to help communicate the facts, the science, data-based facts on this technology. You know, we find that when we talk to the community members, a lot of them aren't even aware of what the technology is, what it means. With the misinformation and disinformation, there really is a commitment to share knowledge because, as we all know, knowledge is power. And the reality of the technology is that it's been around for over 3 decades. There are really, when it's instituted correctly and it follows all of the biosafety rules and regulations, it's been proven to be 100% safe. It is good for the environment, and it's really critical for the success of our project to be able to share that important information with the people of Bangladesh so that they understand that this is a safe product that really has many benefits.
Dr. Dave, you shared a bit of overview of the program. Is there any milestone that this project has achieved in Bangladesh and in other countries you mentioned?
Well, at this point, we actually have developed those biotech potatoes for our target countries. So we have potatoes that are targeted for Bangladesh, Indonesia, Kenya, and Nigeria. And we've now also been able to get them into the field in all 4 countries. And so that's a very important milestone because that requires us to get a regulatory approval within the country to run those confined field trials.
So after this confined field trial, it would be approved by all these 4 countries to be grown by pharma?
Well, it will take multiple trials and maybe a couple of years to run those trials to have the data that we have confidence in that the potato is safe to grow and also safe to eat. So we will then submit our package to the government for request to deregulate and get them to the farmers.
So most people actually, they're concerned when they talk about biotech and GMO, they talk about safety. How you are ensuring safety that these crop and potato varieties are safe for consumption, safe for environment, and safe for cultivation?
Well, we will do tests on the potatoes to make sure that they don't have any extra chemicals produced in them. We're quite confident of that from work that was previously done by other researchers. So we're following in their coattails with this technology. So we're quite confident that there aren't any unexpected changes in the potato in its nutritional quality.
But why it's important to assess the safety measure of any biotech crop, if you can share?
Well, I think it's important to have confidence that with this new technology that in our approaches to improving plants that we're not having unexpected changes. As scientists, we know what the genes can do, but sometimes when you insert them into plants, unexpected things can happen. So we need to go through that process and run those tests to ensure that we didn't create any unexpected changes.
So these works are done, as you know from the title, under the leadership of Michigan State University, but do you have local partner and scientists?
Oh yes, so in each country we have a group of target scientists that we work with. Many of them are national groups, and so in Bangladesh here we're working with the
Bangladesh
Agricultural Research Institute, or BARI. And within that, it's the biotech division that we're working specifically with to run the trials and do the lab work.
Yeah, great. Jen Fierro, we'd like to hear from you that when you talk about sharing information and evidence and misinformation, that also brings the question that whether this crop will actually benefit when it would be out in the field. So from the findings and research that we have as of now, what estimation can we make that this crop will benefit smallholder farmer?
Yeah, what we're saying and what we're estimating is that to the farmer, there's probably at least a 25% savings in their input costs, primarily due to the reduction of the need for the fungicides. In addition to that, what we're seeing is because we know we have a stable product that's not going to be challenged by this disease, we have very stable yields. So what that allows for the farmer is a little bit of peace of mind in knowing that now I don't have to worry about late blight. My crop is expected to yield and I'm a little more confident in perhaps now maybe I was growing a half hectare, now maybe I can grow less than that and I can achieve the same amount of yield, and so it allows me other opportunities to share perhaps in other uses for my land. So those are a couple of those, and we're hoping to see from that that this also equates to better livelihood for smallholder farmers, gives them opportunities to try to have different uses for their disposable income, and so we're really very excited about the potential impact.
Great. Dr. David Douches, you spent significant amount of your professional time, your research, building capacity, knowledge of different community, including students and scientists and researchers about potato. You have seen the transition of potato sector. Tell us a little bit of it, like how potato become a cash crop and how it's an important food both in global south and global north, the transition that happened.
Well, for my career, I've been working with our potato farmers in the U.S., specifically in the state of Michigan, and I've really seen a growth in the U.S. of our land-grant universities working with the farmers in terms of their production. And I think what we've seen over the decades is the farmers now have a very strong educational base and are quite good knowledge of how to grow a potato crop. And so they become actually leaders in the industry. And as university scientists, we partner with them to do the research on their farms to help them continue to move forward and produce a productive and healthy crop that can be consumed.
One priority that we have for Bangladesh is making agriculture and agricultural activity both commercial, and now government wants to make agricultural sector efficient. How that can happen, I mean, through biotech, GMO, and beyond that? Any idea you want to share?
Well, the potato is a great crop in which a farmer can actually benefit economically. From what I've seen over my career is that farmers like to grow potatoes, one, because it's a great food crop, but it's also a crop that they can sell and market and bring money to their farm. And the reality about farming is that the farmers need to be able to sell their crop, make money, and invest in their families and in their farm for the future. So potato is a great crop in which to create that financial and development for their farm. And so I think if with our biotech potato, with the financial savings that they'll have, that they'll be able to invest more in the development of better production practices, which will continue that cycle of improvement. And so, in my opinion, these countries can have a lot of room to improve their production, and so starting with good varieties that protect them from the disease is one component of that.
So most of the time there are some like misconception that if it's a like biotech crop, would it be like cheaper for the farmer to grow, and whether they will have access to the variety? What's your plan on that?
So our product is being developed through the public sector, and so and through our USAID funding, there is not going to be any profit generated by this product that goes back to the U.S. government. It's really for the benefit of the farmers, and so the U.S. benefits if other countries can be self-sustaining in their food. That's the value that we get out of it. So so the farmers are going to benefit from a potato that doesn't cost them extra money but gives them higher productivity.
Jan Fierro, we have heard this term like smallholder farmer economic benefit. And when we talk about the global productivity in value proposition, 80% of the global food production been done by smallholder, I mean from global north. And women and youth are like a major stake for smallholder. Yes. What do you think of them with the lens of this like global biotech potato partnership project in Bangladesh and in 3 other countries?
Yes, Arif. As we know, especially women and youth in agriculture have a huge impact on the outcome. And our project in looking at the biotech potato really is focused to benefits also towards women and youth. And we understand and know through research and data that uplifting these groups has enormous impact on food security. And so we definitely are focused on ways to bring more women and youth into the project and to introduce the potato and to have them experience gains from that.
Yeah, with that one question comes again in my mind that when we talk about sustainability of any project or product, it's not only investing on the advanced line and variety development, it's also like investing on human capital.
Yes.
So how this project is actually benefiting local scientists and local institute in building their capacity around biotech and GMO?
Yeah, thank you for that. So the project is really focused on human and institutional capacity development. Our whole goal on this is not to provide the technology, but to share the technology and to share the knowledge and the expertise onto how to use the technology. We have partner scientists from all of our countries that gather at different critical laboratories globally to do additional training. It's our hope and goal that as we move the project forward, we're always looking at pipeline products, right? Because you always just don't want the one, it's like, well, what needs to come next?
Right.
And in developing that, we're really looking to the National Agricultural Research Institutes as really shifting from being more of the partner to really being the leader, bringing the technology in at early stages so that they are the ones driving the actual transformations. They have the technology so that when this project goes, they're able to continue with that innovation well forward into the future.
That would be like fantastic. Dave, we have to wrap up our program, but climate change is like big major concern and issue in global south and global north, particularly for smallholder farmers that we have in Bangladesh. Do you think that these tools like breeding tools like biotech and GMO, they can create some solution for smallholders in this part of the world?
Absolutely. And that as the climate changes, our diseases and pests that challenge production kind of change. In some places that it becomes more difficult. And with the biotech project, we're starting it with the late blight resistance, but we have a second generation of potato coming down the line that will work on late blight and also against the viruses that attack our crops. And the viruses are transmitted by the insects. And so with climate change, we know that these will help these potatoes be more sustainable in the production cycles.
Any take-home message for our farmers and the audience that we have, the viewers?
Is I think the farmers need to be our innovators. They need to take this technology, take it to their farms, and show how it can lead to better production.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor David and Ms. Jen Fierro, for sharing your knowledge and expertise through this discussion program. দর্শক, আজকে আমরা আলোচনা করছিলাম গ্লোবাল বায়োটেক পটেটো পার্টনারশিপ প্রকল্প নিয়ে, যেটি USAID এবং ফিড দ্য ফিউচারের অর্থায়নে বাংলাদেশে পরিচালিত হচ্ছে। বাংলাদেশ কৃষি গবেষণা ইনস্টিটিউট এবং ফার্মিং ফিউচার বাংলাদেশ সহযোগী প্রতিষ্ঠান হিসেবে কাজ করছে এই প্রকল্পে। আমাদের এই প্রকল্পের উদ্দেশ্য হলো নাভিধসা রোগ প্রতিরোধী আলুর জাত উন্নয়ন এবং কৃষক পর্যায়ে সেই জাত পৌঁছে দেওয়া। আমরা আশা করি উন্নত এই গবেষণাগুলো স্মল হোল্ডার ফার্মার বা ক্ষুদ্র এবং মাঝারি কৃষক যারা রয়েছেন, পাশাপাশি কমার্শিয়ালি যারা আলু চাষ করছেন বাংলাদেশে, তাদের কাছে পৌঁছে যাবে। খাদ্য নিরাপত্তা নিশ্চিতকরণে এই প্রযুক্তি এবং প্রকল্প গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ভূমিকা পালন করবে সেই আশাবাদ ব্যক্ত করে বিদায় নিচ্ছি। ফার্মিং ফিউচার বাংলাদেশ নিবেদিত দীপ্ত কৃষি সংলাপে, পাওয়ার্ড বাই কাজী ফার্মস, কো স্পন্সর্ড বাই এয়ার মালিক সিড। দীপ্ত কৃষি সংলাপ দেখুন প্রতি শুক্রবার বিকেল 4:30 দীপ্ত টিভিতে। সবাই ভালো থাকবেন, নিরাপদে থাকবেন।